Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the United Independent School District Advisory Bond Oversight Committee meeting. It's June 8, 2015. At this time, we have quorum, but could I have a motion for quorum?
We do have a quorum present. If the board members can announce their name and say present.
Jose Angel Lopez.
Present.
Fred Muriel.
Present.
Lalo Uribe present.
Yes, we'll get that.
Orlando Navarro present.
And based on the bylaws, we do need a motion. This Hank is not here to preside over the meeting. Need a motion to name the chair for this meeting. So we're going to do such.
I move that Orlando Navarro be the chairperson for today.
Second that. Mr. Navarro will serve as chair for today. Motion carries.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get started with the first item on the agenda. Item number 1, it's a discussion and possible action to recommend to the Board of Trustees a guaranteed maximum price, GMP, for Newman Elementary School cafeteria expansion and kindergarten wing building addition. Is there anyone here to make a presentation on that?
Yes, there is, but before we get started, Mr. Navarro, Bond Oversight Committee members, just like to announce that we just lost a valuable member of our team last week, Mr. Cesar Trevino, who was our Director of Environmental Management. Passed away last Thursday, and so he left a huge void that we're gonna have to try and fill. So, just to let you know. On the discussion of the GMP for Newman Elementary, we'd like to table that item. We received the GMP late last week. I think it was Thursday afternoon. We had other issues, of course, with Mr. Trevino's situation and stuff, and with graduations, we just never had a chance. It came in about $220,000 over the budget that we have. So we haven't really had a chance to look at it and try and value engineer it down. So we'd like to table it, and we'll bring it back in July to take it to the July Business Committee.
I'll make a motion that we table.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Zuniga.
Thank you.
Item number 2, discussion on the purchase of an IP paging system for Veterans Memorial Elementary School.
Mr. Hector Perez, our Executive Director for Technology, will be making the presentation.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Navarro, members of the committee. We're gonna do something different with this particular school. This is something new. We're doing at United. Usually we get our PA system, our public address, you see the speakers, or the principal can call a teacher, different classrooms. What we're doing a little different this time is we are actually merging that into our network, into our wide area network. Why do we want to do that? Because we're going to merge it with our telephone system so that if Mr. Santos, for example, needs to give a message to the campus, eventually we're going to continue doing all of our campuses like this, if the committee approves. So that if he needs to send a message to the whole school, he can do it from his phone. We actually just dial an extension and he takes over the whole campus. If there's an emergency situation, things like that. Some of the advantages that this particular unit has over a regular PA system, the old type, the analog type, it's entirely digital. The school principal, if at any time decides, principals really like this one. If they want to change the bell schedule for a day, for any particular reason, they can do it on the computer. Very easy to drag and drop. They can make a change. Of course, most of those changes are approved by central office, but they will go ahead and be able to do it themselves. Another one that we have is the administrator can access any classroom from a phone. Let's say they want to call a particular teacher and they call the teacher's extension, because the speakers will have an extension that nobody's going to know. We don't want students calling PA systems in all the classrooms. Those are only kept by the administrators. They'll be able to do so. And it also has the ability, if we ever go that route, to have a Bluetooth connection in case a teacher speaks very soft and the kids can hear her. The principal with their local monies can buy a microphone and it will amplify the teacher's voice. This sits on one speaker in the middle of the classroom. It is the latest on technology right now. We tried it out. We tried it out at night for a couple of months and it worked very well. So that's what we're recommending to the committee.
Do you have any questions?
Did we budget for something like this?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I believe we have $100,000 for wiring for the installation of a PA system, and I believe this came in at slightly under that, $99,876.
And this was budgeted just in general or for this
For this group.
particular?
100,000 in reserve in the 2015 bond technology budget account.
For that.
Yes, sir.
To do this, do you change out your phone system?
No, we already have the infrastructure, the IP telephony. We've had it for 8 years already. So we're just using what we have by merging the systems together. So we don't have to change our phones. They'll get the digital phones with our local extensions. We became sort of our telephone company 8 years ago, the district did, by having our own extensions. So we get to rule what are the extensions in the school, and we merge the two systems together.
What is the timeline on this?
We'll get it ready when school opens. This will be implemented during the summer as we're building the school. We're already doing the wiring, the pre-wiring, all of that. We'll be ready to give us the approval.
Do they bill this, the $100,000, do they bill it by classroom, by extensions? How do you get this price?
It's by the number of classrooms, by the number of speakers. Like we bid on 50 plus speakers, and we have the ones on the hallways. This also includes the digital clocks. They're all connected into the same system. If you change a clock on the computer, it changes all the clocks in the school. They're also part of the network as well.
So you basically went out for formal bids and had a spec list and
Yeah,
a menu of prices and.
Well, actually, this is being, excuse me, purchased through a purchasing co-op. I think it's a DIR vendor.
Oh, it's a sole.
Yes, sir.
No, it's a purchasing co-op. We belong to that, it's a DIR vendor, I think it's a state purchasing co-op.
Yes.
And we're able to go directly to them. They've already gone out for bids and everything else. And
Those competitive bidding.
that's correct.
Through the state.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, if there's no other questions, I will make a motion that we approve the IP paging system for Veterans Memorial Elementary School in the amount of $99,876.19.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the presentation. Item number 3, bond construction program update.
Good evening, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Liza Benavides. What I'd like to present to you tonight is an update on our bond construction program. Last year at this time, we kind of brought to you the plan that we had, that we divided our construction program in 4 phases. So what you're gonna see here is in red, we're catching up to what really is happening in our construction timelines. So here you'll just have the breakdown of the bond program. And then on phase 1, what you'll see there in red is where I'm actually giving you an update. And last summer, we did sell over $100 million in bonds. And we increased our tax rate by 2 cents, which was actually a penny less than what we had thought when we were doing our bond election presentations. And now on the second bond sale, that's why I'd like to bring it to you, because tomorrow we'll be presenting an item to our business committee. We're ready to sell the second phase, which initially last year we thought we were going to need $125 million to continue our bond program, but because of some changes in timelines, and especially in our new school construction, and looking at our cash needs, getting with Mr. Rangel and Mr. Alanis, we really feel we should just borrow $100 million. Right away, when you start borrowing, the clock starts ticking on that debt, and so we figured, just to save our taxpayers some interest expense, that we would just borrow the $100 million. And again, we projected timelines adjusted to the construction schedule. And there you'll see that the third bond sale that we think we can do next summer is $125 million. So what I'd like to do now, if you keep going on phase 1, just to give you an idea where we are in the 9th grade campuses, projected completed dates for United South and United High School are December 2016, JBA and LBJ, August 2017. The middle school, actually, this is one that got kind of moved to phase 2 to be completed August 2017. And we're still on schedule to open Elementary 27 on 2015, which its official name now is Veterans Memorial. And so you'll see the adjustment in the cash needs right there. In the next section, the security and safety projects, we've had not a delay, just we want to make sure that we design those security stations at those elementaries to fit the budget for one, and to make sure that it's not too much of a hindrance to our foyers there in the schools. And so right now, that project probably is going to be moved to next summer. We're still working on the design phase. But we are ready to start building the access controls at our elementary schools. and update the security surveillance cameras at the elementary schools. On the technology projects, Mr. Pettis went ahead and got the VBrick video distribution system project going. And I think you recall a couple of months ago, we just asked this committee if we could just go ahead and do all the campuses. And there you'll see that we updated it to include all the campuses. And then on the renovation projects, you'll see that those that we had thought we'd start this past year, we did. They're in progress, and in fact, the HVAC and EMS system at Gutierrez Elementary is completed. And then we have already started bringing you the projects that we want to start doing this coming year, which is Troutman Elementary School, Arndt, Newman, and the Food Production Center. And then, so this will give you an update of what we thought. We thought we were going to be spending $100 million, and actually, you know, these projects add up to about $51 million. So now I'd like to give you an idea about what we are considering phase 2 of our projects. Again, we'll complete the 4 ninth grade campuses. We will start and complete the middle school number 10. We'll be in the process of starting to build our elementary number 28. And you'll see that the projected cash outflow for just the new schools from phase 2 is $96.1 million. And then on the security and safety projects, we'll start building some of the security stations at the elementary level. We'll continue the building access controls and updating the security surveillance cameras at the secondary schools. And then for the technology, we'll continue, and that'll be $5.6 million cash outflow. And then the next projects would be, I think, the technology projects. We'll continue to work on the upgrades, and we're starting, in fact, the interactive flat panels at 3 pilot campuses. There's $8 million set aside for that particular project. We wanted to make sure that we were going to test these interactive flat panels at 3 current campuses, including the new elementary school, just to see how these panels work in our classrooms. And then we'll start the renovation projects, of course, that I just mentioned, the Troutman Elementary Wing Addition, Arndt Elementary Wing Addition, Newman Elementary, Clark Middle renovations, and of course start doing the John B. Alexander additions and renovations for a total of $18.8 million. And so for phase 2 right now, we're projecting that we'll need the 134. And when you add that to the $51 million of phase 1, that's about $185 million. And so we feel secure with maybe just borrowing the $100 million this summer and not over borrow at this point. And so I just wanted to bring you an update because tomorrow we will be presenting that item to our business committee meeting.
Lyda, on the bond issuance and fees on phase 1, the $1 million is not going to be used, or?
It wasn't used for the way they did the transaction. It was included as part of the cost. In other words, we didn't actually lose $1 million to bonds and fees. Somehow they incorporated it in there. Oh, neither am I. Because that actually adds $1 million to our actual projects that we can redirect to that area. So I'd like to be continuing to update this committee next summer to see where we're at, see how much we need to borrow then. It might end up being a 5-phase, but right now, you know, I think we're on track to do the 4-phase. So it really, I don't think it requires any action. I just wanted to bring the committee up to date where we were. Thank you.
What are you seeing as far as interest rates? Everything looks like it's staying low?
Yes, in fact, we're doing a transaction this month that's a refunding. We're refunding about $52 million of our bonds. We still see the opportunity there to refinance some of our older bonds. And so the market's still there. However, our FAs have been telling us, and you hear it on the news, that the Fed continuously kind of threatens to raise rates. And so we'd like to get in on before they start really putting the pressure of raising rates, which might affect the interest that we have to pay.
Well, I guess that would be where my question is, where you're asking for less, but you know, if the rates go up, are we hurting ourselves by not? I mean, or is it not significant enough to?
I don't think, I mean, because remember when I said the clock starts ticking on that debt that's outstanding?
Yes.
you know, I don't think the interest rates will go up that much to offset borrowing $25 million that you start the clock ticking on it. But in the past, when we used to get good interest rates on our interest income, I could probably tell you, you know, we could benefit from that. But right now, our interest income from these bonds really is very minimal.
Okay.
So,
we're
but
earning
that's a
what?
good question.
I think we're earning, what, 0.1%, Sam?
If we go a little bit longer, it's about 1.17.
0.17?
Yes, 0.17%.
And the feds, when they raise rates, they raise it, what, 25 basis points at a
Right.
time?
About 25 days.
Yeah, so,
That's if they raise.
hmm? Yeah.
And that may be, I don't know if anytime soon, but probably in the near future, maybe 12 to 18 months,
Yeah.
that the Fed may, I think they're just kind of laying the groundwork there for what's inevitably to come. But I will tell you that Mr. Z, is that I think it's commendable that, because the easy thing would be, rates are low, let's just go out and borrow the money, you know, money's cheap, like they say. But Lila and her staff, Sam, they work diligently to, if we don't need to borrow it, you know, like she says, the clock starts ticking, and so you've got a P&I payment on an amount that you may not need, and so I think they're doing a good job of just using what we need at the time that we do need it, because again, the principal and interest payment is due, you know, immediately, so.
And then again, that would have a direct impact on our taxpayers, because we need to collect the money from the taxpayers in order to make the P&I payment. So, yeah, I mean, they study this every day.
Yeah, they're better than me.
There's also an IRS issue that when you issue out debt, you have to spend so much in the first 3 months, so much in the first 6 months, so much in the 18, and we're not going to have, we'll fall behind those $25 million if we issue it, so. We won't be penalized because the market's kind of reversed now, rates are so low, but it's good practice to stay in that mode and to follow the IRS guidelines.
That's
as well.
good. I think the district and their staff should be commended for being as fiscally responsible as they can with the taxpayer dollars.
Thank you. Thanks to those.
Thank you. Next is item 4, current bond project status report. Mr. Allen.
Good evening, Chairman Navarro, Bond Oversight Committee members, and members of the audience. Ignacio Landis, Director, Construction Management. Tonight I'll be starting with the elementary school number 28. Okay. And let's see.
Is it on the screen there in front of you?
What's that? Okay, well, looking at the project summary report for elementary school number 28, construction progress to date is at 4%. The time extensions to date is 0. We have not had any time extensions requested for the site. And the construction completion date remains March 31st, 2017 for substantial completion.
Did you skip 27? You skipped 27. The one that takes you, or you gotta come back either way.
Hold on, let me
It's in a different sequence in the packet.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh.
We can go to, if we follow this, we have Veterans
Okay.
Memorial first.
Okay, I've got Veterans Memorial on there. That's
That's Veterans Memorial.
Should we do better?
Yeah, we'll follow the packet.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's follow the packet. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 27 is now Veterans Memorial.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Start again.
All right. Okay, going back now, we're gonna start with Veterans Memorial Elementary School. Like Mr. Benavides said, the school has been named. And construction progress to date at this campus is 80% completion. And time extensions to date have been, it still remains at 45 days. And September 6, 2015 is the substantial completion date that was approved. Now, following the same format that we've been presenting the status report, the architects as well as the construction management division and all consultants have conducted site visits and progress of construction in the following site activities are noted. In areas A and B, work in progress, the installation of finished materials is ongoing, principally the installation of ceiling grid, chipboard, fur downs, and priming and painting of walls. Cabinets and millwork has been primed, painted, and installed. Mechanical machinery has been installed and final connections to distribution ducts as well as refrigerant and low pressure lines. A and B being the main entrance front part of the school. As you can see, with the legend at the bottom of the page. In Area C, installation of finished materials is ongoing at large portions of the area. Overhead, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing area, sheet metal ductwork has been completed, and the contractor is completing the construction of minor CMU stub walls in the cafeteria, serving area, and kitchen, which are used to fit some of the equipment. The walk-ins have been installed. The finished flooring has been installed in the cafeteria, kitchen, and classrooms. Suspended grids, metal furring, and dripboard on ceilings is currently being installed, and painting is ongoing. In Area D, which is generally the gymnasium area, the interior and exterior CM walls have been completed to 100%, and painting is underway. The heating, ventilation, and air-conditioned ductwork is completed in the gym area, and construction of the platform is also being completed. Now, for the exterior, Siteworx upgrade preparation of the perimeter loop is currently 100% complete, and the concrete curb and gutter sections at the east, south, and west sides of the building. And the site contractor has completed this upgrade prep for the west end of the visitor parking area. And again, this area has been somewhat delayed due to some of the inclement weather, but the contractor continues to work. In the courtyard area, the concrete trench drains have been placed, and final grading has been established, and concrete paving in the area is ongoing. So that, in summary, is a report, status report for elementary Veterans Memorial. And here are some snapshots of different areas of the campus as it nears completion.
You see all that mud still in there?
Yes.
Somebody walked through that area and left their muddy footprints.
Yeah. I think it's not concrete, right? And here are some of the interior finishes. It's, you see some of the floor, wall, and ceiling finishes are ongoing. ECT tile at the classrooms is also underway. Any questions on Veterans Memorial Elementary School?
How long do you think, how much longer?
Well, based on the percentage, we're looking at between 80-83% completion. And weather permitting, I'm thinking, the site work will start picking up. Once you start seeing more concrete out in the site, where the parking, the drive, is to be, it'll take a different shape. But the contractor, you see, still works, the interior. And we have all millwork is already there, furniture has already been ordered as well. So we're trying to keep on track to go over for the August date. Or September date.
And we should be able to occupy it. I don't know, we'll have substantial completion at that time, but we should be able to occupy it.
Probably by the middle of August. I mean, we need to the last possible day. It's gonna be very close to the wire.
We've done that before.
Yeah, like a few days before teachers show up. We need every day.
Remember Faskin Elementary?
Yes, sir.
We're actually moving in and cleaning up the day before school started. Yeah, we cut it close.
Have they already hired people for their?
We're in that process of determining what additional staff we need. A lot of these teachers will be coming from other campuses. They'll be following whatever students come over. But you have some other support staff. You'll have custodians there. You'll have a librarian and so on. So we're in the process of doing that already. We already have a principal. So
The courtyard area, I know it has drainage, but just recently we had a flash flood, and I know designs are not necessarily designed for that much water in a short amount of time. Is there a backup to that drainage, just in case?
Well, we have a trench design in that courtyard, which lines a perimeter, and it feeds into some boxes underground, and it feeds out of the building, and it held it well. It's been holding it well, actually.
It was a very good test.
Yeah.
And the water was discharged within minutes.
Okay.
So it was, in essence, it was a good test of every group. It worked pretty well.
All right, going now to United Ninth Grade campus. Construction progress to date is 8% complete. There have not been any time extensions, and contractually, completion date is December 10th, 2016. Now, in this campus, the Area C, which is typically cast room area, CMU wall placements are in progress, and the placement of structural steel has started. In Area D, which is more classroom area, rebar installation is ongoing, and plumbing rough-in, electrical rough-in in progress. That's all the underground rough-in. Area E, we have trenching for the foundation preparation in progress, plumbing rough-in, as well as the installation of electrical conduits rough-in in progress as well. And here are some snapshots of the actual working place. You can see that the foundation prep is underway. And you have some new walls already going up where a section of the slab has been poured, and some structural members as well. So even though this one, with the site and some of the issues we have with the site, trying to work around all the conditions that we had, they've already got a good flow going with these slabs, and they're pouring like between 600 and 800 yards a section. So that really helps in maximizing the work area. Any questions on ninth grade?
Just a notation on the traffic, the traffic that's gonna be out there with the high school and the ninth grade campus now, and just having one road that's gonna get you in International Boulevard, getting you in, that traffic's gonna be something to kind of review before, in advance, because
I think the ninth grade, Lila, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the ninth grade has a different bell schedule than the main high school?
Yes, yeah, I think they go in a little earlier.
It's
So
like
we'll
30
take that
minutes.
into.
Yeah, they're staggered about 30 minutes.
it's still
It
tough.
should help a little.
Yes.
Okay, going on to United South ninth grade campus. Construction progress to date is 14%, no time extensions to date, and July 15, 2016 is the substantial completion date that's been established. Section C, work in progress, CMU walls placement in progress, steel structure placement, as well as electrical rough-in outlets on walls as well. In area D, which is more classroom area, we have CMU walls as well in placement, steel structure placement in progress, as well as electrical rough-in outlets on walls. And area E, we have rebar placement, part of the reinforcement for the slab in progress, electrical conduit placement, and plumbing rough-in, which is all part of the under slab rough-in that, as you know, we prep for before the slab pour. And we have trenching in progress as well as plumbing in the area F area. So these are just snapshots of United South. Any questions on that campus?
We have elementary school number 28 next.
Now, elementary school, number 28 is a school that we are basically just starting, and we're at 4% construction progress to date, 0 days extensions, and March 31st, 2017 is a substantial completion date established. On this site, we'll typically see a lot of the site work and grading that's ongoing. And as you can see, like in the first picture, we already have a pad prep, which will follow with the grade beams and all the underground rough-in. There's more site work.
Where's this located, 28?
Elementary School 28 is on E.G. Ranch Road. It's gonna be directly in front of the middle school. It's,
Or
off
a new
59.
compound, transportation compound?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now that elementary school will be directly across middle school number 10. Where you see, construction is pretty much just starting on this site, so we're at 1.5% completion, or progress, and, 0 days for time extension, March 31st, 2017 is the, substantial completion date. And on this side as well, you see basically a lot of clearing, and, trying to establish the boundary limits. And, you have any questions on the middle school site?
Well, just, these are exciting times for UISD. I mean, you know,
They
they have
are,
a lot
and,
of projects going on.
Yeah, as you can see, every month, we're juggling more and more projects, together with, additional renovations, so it's a very exciting time.
Any questions for Mr. Ali? Thank you for the
Thank you.
presentation.
I don't think we loaded it.
Number 5, the next item on the agenda is number 5, bond program financial report.
Well, they did?
You wanna put this one underneath? This is the same. Yes. You know, there's a lot of numbers, and I think we said a couple of months ago that it kind of looked like it was slow moving, but it's starting to pick up speed here. Just the amount that you see there for expenditures and encumbrances, the grand total is 116 million, and that by itself grew by about 15 million from the last time we did this report. And some of the main changes have to do with the Highway 359 East Elementary School. The GMP is now included in that big number, that 15.1 million. And then the other changes were, we're starting to see some more activity in the renovations and addition areas. At Arndt Elementary, we added about $224,000 for design costs. And at Newman Elementary, that includes about $124,000 in design costs. So again, we're starting to see more purchase orders get encumbered based on this committee's recommendation to our board. Probably next month, we'll probably see the GMP for that East Middle School. And we'll do there's a process in place to have contracts signed and everything. So it's moving. It's moving. We've encumbered and expensed over $160 million. So that's about a quarter of the whole bond program. So it's going fast, going faster.
And the detail for each one of these projects are included as part of your packet, and they tie to the summary sheet.
We should all come over here to this one page. This is how we do the operating budget too. We do it in one page. Which we're very proud of right there.
Any questions on the report?
Looks like my checkbook.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the presentation. Next is item 6. It's open agenda. Are there any comments? No one signed up for any comments? Okay. Any comments from the board? If If not, then move on to setting the date for the next committee meeting. I think we're waiting some information, right?
Well, normally we would have had it probably July the 6th, which is the first Monday of July, but the district is closed that week.
Okay.
So we're proposing that it be held July 13th as a tentative date for the next scheduled meeting.
Okay. And again, we've checked the public comments. There's no public comments. Thank you very much. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
And a second? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Solis.